moving quickly. Another handoff to Rankin. Rankin finds a hole. He's at the 30. Makes it to the 20. He's got one man to beat. Rankin walks into the end zone. Into the backfield. Braden Wright looks over top. He's going to try to find a man. He's got Alec Tatum. Tatum bobbles it, but he's in the end zone. What a connection between Braden Wright and Alec Tatum. Handoff to Rankin. Rankin right up the middle, and he's in the end zone for a Bearcat touchdown.
You that the views expressed in today's show do not reflect the views of KZLX, KNWT, or Northwest Missouri State University. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the show.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Weekend Sports Kickoff here on X106, also streaming live on the KNWT Channel 8 Facebook page. Jacob Blair, Andrew Botwinick, Sam Steinmeier, Nolan Brooks will be here. He's late.
He's late.
There's no way around that. He's late.
We got it on video now, Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan. Nolan's camera. No one's sitting in it. So we'll hear from Nolan later when he gets here. So we don't know when that is. We'll probably be surprised.
He'll probably come walk through the door. Oh, hey, Nolan, how's it going?
We'll give him a round of applause when he comes in.
Yeah. So he'll be here at some point. Austin McNorton back. He's at home this week. I think he has a concert to go to, so he's not here. Everyone deserves a show off every once in a while. Just Nolan has.
That's why you got me.
Nolan has had his last week, or was it Andrew?
No, Andrew had
it 2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
Mine was.
I've gone in order of the chairs.
Mine was the worst weekend to have an off week as a Chiefs fan.
The Super Bowl.
That is
Super
true.
Bowl week. I didn't get to preview anything.
And that's why it was 3v1.
I was here in spirit, though. I was still here.
You were giving us some stuff in the group chat.
But yeah, so as Sam mentioned, if you're confused, Sam has been in every. If you're watching on KNWT's live stream, Sam has been in every chair the last 3 weeks. Maybe next year you'll have a permanent spot.
Maybe next year I'll have your spot.
Well, be careful.
A year
Sam.
from now, maybe
Yeah,
a year from now.
A year from now, yeah, probably.
Not next semester.
But since you like to boast so much, you are a senior.
You know, I may put you in this seat. Get you ready.
That'd be fun.
Do you think you could run this?
Not right now, but if you gave me the proper training, yes.
So apparently I've got some teaching to do, as Northwest Missouri State basketball did last night. As biggest game of the year, a first-ranked opponent for Northwest men's basketball team in a long time. And this program, what was supposed to be a close game, Northwest came in and, well, it was not. Northwest came in and beat Missouri Southern by 21, the number 14 team in the country. And it was close for a while. Missouri Southern came out strong, but just really was both the team, but then individual performances as well for Northwest that just pushed them to the win. Yeah,
it was close for a half, really. More through the first half, it was close. And then as they got to halftime, Northwest kind of pulled away. And after the first half, Northwest just didn't look back. And, well, I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, it's hard not to pull that far away, no matter who you're playing, when you shoot 61% from the field. You know, Missouri Southern didn't have a bad night at all. They shot 55%, but, you know, just they couldn't keep up with Northwest's onslaught. And, you know, Northwest shot 13 of 26 from three. I don't care who you're playing. You're not going to beat that.
I like to look ahead a little bit, too, in terms of just basketball in general for this men's team. This is the game you wanted to play against Missouri Southern to eliminate the possibility of a trap game against Pitt State. A 21-point win. It's great. It's what you want to have. You build momentum. You weren't really caught off guard by anything that Missouri Southern was doing on offense or on defense. Cam Martin went in and did his thing. I think that's exactly what Ben McCollum was saying in the pregame on KXCV, that Cam Martin was going to get his. It was inevitable. It was going to happen, but Northwest had to be able to come back from that, put more up on the scoreboard, and that's what they did. Trevor Hudgens continued to ball out. He's probably going to get another MIAA Player of the Week, and I think the fourth one this year. He's probably going to be in line to get another one of those, just because you don't have 33 points, go 7 of 13 from deep, and not come away with some type of hardware.
Yeah, and you're talking about Player of the Week. He's kind of inserting himself in the Player of the Year candidacy, too, because, you know, all throughout the season we've been thinking, oh, it's Ryan Hawkins that's probably going to get that. He's going to do the double, get Defensive Player of the Year and Player of the Year. Well, now it's a real debate on whether it should be Trevor or Ryan, because just this past few stretch, Trevor has been playing so well, shooting the ball outstanding, and it's going to be interesting to see how far Trevor can take this team if he continues this outstanding shooting, which is very possible. But if he has an off night, they have Ryan Hawkins and also Luke Waters with the career high of 19 last night.
Well, in terms of the MIAA, you probably had at least 3, maybe 4 first-team all MIAA players on the court in this game. You had all of the players going for Player of the Year. Cam Martin had 29 points for Missouri Southern, and this was a situation where it was a quiet 29. I don't know how you have a quiet 29 points, but Cam Martin did that. It was 12 for 17 from the floor, an extremely efficient performance from him. But on Northwest, 33 for Trevor Hudgens, 10 for 19 from the field, 7 for 13 from 3. Ryan Hawkins, 21 points, 9 for 14 from the field. And how about Luke Waters, a player, again, that did not play in some of the opening games this season. Now starting, played 31 minutes, 19 points, but a perfect game from Luke Waters, 8 for 8 from the field, 3 for 3 from 3, 4 rebounds, had 1 assist, no turnovers. But the other thing about Luke Waters is for much of that game, he did end up fouling out of the game, but that's because he was matched up with Cam Martin. He used his fouls efficiently, if that is a thing, and I think if it is, he showed that last night. But Cam Martin, a quiet 29, but for the most part, when Luke Waters was on him, Cam Martin struggled just a little bit.
Oh yeah, Luke Waters, his defensive play goes really under the radar because he's so good on defense, and he probably could guard any position out on the court. And the last night they matched him up with Cam Martin. Usually you maybe thought they'd match up Ryan Hawkins just because he has a bit more size, and also just because you'd like to see that matchup. But Ben McCollum decides to put Luke Waters on him, and Cam got 29, but he could have got a lot more, and Luke Waters did a really good job of holding him down.
And the sad thing is that the 29 that Cam Martin had is almost considered an off night for a guy that can go out and get you 40-point, 50-point games in any of these MIAA games.
And now Nolan Brooks has made his way with us here. So Nolan, kind of missed the first part of our conversation here. I think, new haircut?
Yes, sir.
I had to show that off a little bit now. Mm-hmm. But what do you think of this game? A 21-point win for not only what is the second best team in the MIAA, but number 14 team in the country and the probable number 2 team in the Central Region.
Well, I think you guys brought up an interesting point. I think it was Andrew, you brought up this all but solidifies in a way where you don't have to worry about Pitt State as much, honestly. Pitt State could have been a matchup where this men's team is looking at it like, well, how do we prep for this team? Another road matchup, one right after a big one with Missouri Southern. Now we don't got to worry about it. So it's really just kind of taking another notch off the belt. And, this is going to be a tough back half of the season for this men's team. And, it's not over by any stretch, but you got one out of the way. You get to see Missouri Southern next week. But overall, just kind of applaud the defensive effort to hold Cam Martin to 29 points. And, Jacob, you said it, a quiet 29. I don't know how you quietly put up 29 and 7 boards. That seems like a pretty good night to me. But in his standards, that's a quiet game overall. So good defensive-minded team. I heard last night, I was leaving Wells last night, and it was tied 20-20. There was 9 or 10 minutes left until halftime. I was like, oh, this is a good game. And I didn't see anything else until later on that night. I looked at the score. I was like, well, they really opened this up, and this was a good team win overall.
Welcome back to the weekend Sports Kickoff here on X106. We've lost it. We're streaming live on the KNWT channel, a Facebook page. Jacob Blair, Andrew Botwinick, Nolan Brooks, Sam Steimer. I almost made it through the intro. These 3 were bent over laughing. I probably should turn your microphones off. I kept them off because you guys were laughing while I was trying to get through the open. But we were laughing about what we were getting ready to talk about because Sam says no one really cares where he thinks Tom Brady will end up.
Because we really don't know.
A retirement home.
So Giselle's house, that's where he's going to be at.
That's his house, too. They're married. That makes
yeah, but she runs that household. You know it.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
We're going to look at some free agent quarterbacks and talk about where we think they will end up. We'll just leave Sam out of this segment at this point.
I do have predictions, though, so you can include me.
But you said no one will care.
Just for Tom Brady. We'll just exclude it from the Tom
No,
Brady.
I actually have a good...
We're starting with Tom Brady.
That's fine, yeah.
So we'll start with Sam.
Okay.
Since he's a
I'll get it out.
He's a little arrogant over there.
Ooh.
I think that Tom Brady will be an L.A. Charger next year. I think that he's done in New England. He doesn't, he sees that they're not going to put talent around him. They're going to lean on him to do the majority of the work, and they don't have a lot of receivers around him. He's going to go to a place where they do have talent. Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, they have Mike Williams and also Keenan Allen. They have great talent. Hunter Henry at the tight end. You give Tom Brady that, he can run with it. I don't think he wins the AFC West because you still have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, but he definitely gets a wild card spot and, gets the Chargers into, Super Bowl contention. So L.A. Chargers is where Tom Brady will end up.
Does anyone agree with that?
I think that's a pretty safe pick. It's the consensus.
That's the most wide open quarterback position right now. Unless Tyrod Taylor gets it. I've heard a lot about Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, they've talked about Tyrod Taylor.
I would say probably Las Vegas is another viable option. Move Derek Carr down, bring Tom Brady in for a year. Maybe. I don't know.
That would do a lot to hurt Derek Carr's confidence.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. That's
you
why.
Don't think the season he had last season hurt his confidence? They
but
didn't play well.
It would do even more bad to his confidence. Like, I had one bad year, now they don't even want me.
It's not that they don't want him. They just.
I think Tom Brady is still wearing number 12 in a blue uniform with some red stripes. He stays in New England. He's not going anywhere. I think he just wants to go through the free agent process, look around.
He wanted to have a little fun with us a little bit.
That's what I think. Tom Brady, he's getting old. He knows his time's coming to an end, so he's enjoying some things that he has not up until this point because New England re-ups his contract well before it expires. Now it finally is out. I think New England's in a situation, they go get a young quarterback. They put him under Tom Brady for a couple years. Whether probably 2 is what Brady's going. He shouldn't. I think Brady should retire. That's my opinion. I think Brady should leave before it goes downhill where we remember Tom Brady as a bad quarterback, because I think that's the worst thing for his legacy. I feel like he should leave as the champion he is, the one of the best quarterbacks in history as he is. I don't want to remember Tom Brady throwing ducks through the air as he's getting close to doing, and there's no way around that. But he wants to play more, and I think he does that in a Patriots uniform.
I agree. I think he definitely needs to retire and play for the Canton Greats just because there's nothing else that he needs to accomplish. Jacob, you said exactly what I was going to say. He'll probably stay in New England another year or two just because they need to get someone else back there that can play. I don't think he deserves to go somewhere else because then you get into the situation that Brett Favre kind of got into. Brett Favre will always be remembered as a great Packers quarterback, but the last couple years of his career, he was in New York playing for the Jets. He was playing for Minnesota. He was playing for a couple different teams, then a couple of divisional teams as well. He played for the Vikings and beat the Packers. And it's not a good look when you're a player of Tom Brady's caliber. You don't want to say, I'm going to go play for the Bills for a year or two, because then the whole career is tainted. Tom Brady will play in New England. If he doesn't, he should retire. Simple as that.
Up next, Phillip Rivers. As it was announced, he and the Chargers have officially parted ways. I think similar to some of these, it's not only a question of where do they end up, but do they retire? And I think of the possible retirees, Phillip Rivers, I think he retires. I don't think he ends up on a team, but if he were to sign anywhere, where does Phillip Rivers go?
Retirement, but according to what I said a couple weeks ago on Off My Rocker, he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I also have him retiring, but the only viable option, in Florida, I don't think he's going to go out of that state. I think he's going to either go with the Bucs or the Jaguars, and the clear-cut place is the Bucs. But Jameis Winston just got LASIK, so
He's also a free agent. That we'll
he
get
is
into
also a
later.
free agent. So
I think Philip Rivers calls it. There's always there's a time for quarterbacks, and you kind of know when you're done. And I would almost say that this last year, based on what I saw, and I know that means absolutely nothing in retrospect to what he could do, but from what I saw, I think it's time to hang him up. You have 9 kids you got to take care of. You made your money. You played your football. Go enjoy retirement. Odds are, based on his career numbers, he'll probably make it into the Hall of Fame in some way or another. So go enjoy retirement. I see no reason for him to go try and play another year somewhere else.
I think if he ends up on a team, I think it does sound like the Bucs, or at least the team in Florida. I agree with that. I don't think Miami's out of the question. I know I would go with Fitzpatrick over Rivers at this point, but it is a Florida team.
Fitz magic.
Absolutely. You know you're going to win 5 games a year with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know that.
And give the Chiefs a bye.
Yes, which all Chiefs fans greatly appreciate.
Best thing he ever did in Miami.
And this is the weekend sports kickoff here on KZLX LP Maryville. The next, we'll call this a set of quarterbacks. We'll do all the New Orleans quarterbacks at the same time. Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill. There's issues in New Orleans right now. No one really knows what Drew Brees is doing. Then there's some question if he retires. Is it Teddy Bridgewater? Is it Taysom Hill? Taysom Hill has said if he's not the quarterback, he wants to leave. So a little bit of a mess in New Orleans right now.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's a mess.
Pretty wild.
I think Drew Brees retires. I've said this before. He could probably still play another year or two and have a good year or two, but Drew Brees is in the similar situation as Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers. Just retire while you're ahead. There's no need to stretch out another season or two just because you can, because people don't want to remember a 2,000-yard season from Drew Brees. You were out half the season, and you come back in. You exit in the first round of the playoffs against a team that you should have beaten. I think that's a good enough reason. You get one ring. You call it a career. Teddy Bridgewater takes over. He'll do pretty well as a starting quarterback for New Orleans, so that takes care of the second option. Taysom Hill's gone. He'll probably go to the highest bidder, who probably will not utilize him the way he wants to be utilized as a sole quarterback. People want to utilize him as a running back, tight end, wide receiver, anywhere that they can fit him, and they'll just have him listed. I know high schoolers coming out of high school to college, they'll have you just listed as an athlete. Taysom Hill will just forever be known as that athlete position. He won't like it, but that's where it'll end up going. And with the way that the quarterback market is, just about everybody on this list I would have over Taysom Hill in terms of actually being a starting quarterback.
Welcome back to the weekend sports kickoff here on X106. Also streaming live on the KNWT Channel 8 Facebook page. Jacob Blair, Andrew Botwinick, Nolan Brooks, and Sam Steinmeier. Sam, how has that chair been today?
It's been.
You're in Austin's chair, so
I am in Austin's
I felt like
chair.
you've done a great job filling in for, because you have to take on a different role for each person you fill in. You got to
do.
fill a different role.
Fill that role, yeah. I feel like I filled Austin's role pretty
You
well.
did a great job during college basketball picks too, going one way, confusing everybody, then picking another way where no one really knows what you pick, because Austin's really good at that.
He's great at doing that.
So you had that taken care of today.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't blow everyone's ears out, though, while doing it.
Jacob can adjust for that.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, on our board over here, you're like 2 times louder than
Exactly.
Austin, just to match the levels.
Exactly.
Sorry, Austin. But this is what happens when you miss the show.
Yeah, you get made fun of.
Exactly. Nolan, did you listen last week? Probably a good thing.
Yeah, we made fun of you the first 5 minutes, too. No, we didn't.
So, Sam,
And we know Andrew listened the whole way through.
We'll leave these 2 for last. So we'll start with you. What's your off your rocker for this week?
So I've gone to college basketball, where it seems like you really can't be off your rocker, but I'm going to try.
I read your screen. You're off your rocker.
Okay, well,
ahead.
that's kind of, a spoiler. But, okay, I think San Diego State, they're the 1 seed in the East right now. I think they will lose. They will slip up somewhere, and they will fall to a 2 seed in the West region. Dayton will go undefeated the rest of the year, and they will get that 1 seed in the East region. Then
Everything's good so far.
Then this is where it gets crazy. Dayton will work their way through the East region. San Diego State, as much as it pains me to say because they will meet up with Gonzaga, will work their way through the West region, make it to the Final Four. Those 2 teams clash in the national championship. Dayton gets the win over San Diego State, and a mid-major team finally wins the national championship, and we finally get a mid-major versus mid-major national championship because usually those 2 just end up playing each other in the Final Four. But Dayton will be the national champions.
Short answer, no. Long answer, still no. Not going to happen.
It's fun, though, to think about.
It is. I wouldn't say you're far off until you had them playing in the national championship.
The question here is not, do we think this will happen? The question is Sam off his rocker? And the answer to that is no. This could very easily happen.
I don't know about easily. It won't happen.
Have you seen Dayton play?
I have.
They're
Not
one of the best
full
teams
games.
in the country. And
Yeah.
and they're a team that right now, put them and Baylor on a court, I'd pick Dayton to win. Dayton's that good.
But San Diego State, too?
San Diego State, we still don't know about. That would be the question mark. But I could see San Diego State rolling to a national championship game as well. As Sam mentioned, it's really hard in anything to right now think that something isn't possible in college basketball. I'm going to do my best to try here when we roll around. It is my turn, though, because we saved Nolan and Andrew for last.
Nolan, you still think I'm off my rocker?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Here's mine. 3.
Trace.
Double-digit seeds make the Final Four.
Is that it?
Oh,
No other layers?
Do you want me to add layers?
There's nothing else needed.
Honestly, there isn't. I can see it. The thing is, it's like mine. I can see it. Probably shouldn't happen, but I can see it happening. I can see an 11-12 and another 11 seed getting in. Even a 13 maybe.
I was going to go as far and be like 3 double digits make the Final Four. 2 of them are Power 5 teams that just get hot at the right time, and one of them's not. One of them's like a 13 from a mid-major, and then you just get your normal Kansas or Duke in the other one. But 3 double-digit seeds in the Final Four.
I could
Have you
still
looked
see it
at
happen.
the bracketology for the double digit?
That's what I'm doing. It's possible. It's possible. You got Purdue who either wins by 40 or loses by 40. 50-50.
Exactly.
Florida, who was a preseason top 10. Your other
3 of us.
Your other 10 is Wichita State that could get in, and then
Wichita
in that Midwest region, Vermont, New Mexico State.
Heck, Xavier maybe.
Xavier could. USC.
Well,
maybe,
I gave it a try.
Furman still.
It's possible.
Virginia's an 11 seed.
Not likely, but it's possible.
Indiana, Arizona State.
You good, Nolan?
No.
Arkansas is a good team.
They are.
Yale.
Sam, stop acting like you know about Yale basketball.
They're great and they're good in March. They get at least 1 win in the March. A lot.
Nolan, what's the part? What's the part that pulls you away from that? I just want to know what from the double digits.
Cincinnati.
The teams that are the double digits.
We just named a bunch that are good.
Okay, they're not good enough.
What do you mean they're not good enough? This is March. Everyone's
say
good
they're
enough.
I don't
not
even
good
have to
enough, I
argue
mean
my
they're
off
not
my
good
rocker.
enough.
Sam's doing it for me.
You don't think Purdue as a 10 seed is good enough to beat Louisville as a 2 seed who just lost to Georgia Tech last week, who hasn't won against a top 10 team in like 10 years?
You don't think Indiana, who just beat Iowa, is good enough to beat Butler?
No.
Andrew, well, we don't have a lot of time left. Let's move on to yours. We're not convincing Nolan otherwise.
So I went to the NBA. We talked about this one about a week or 2 ago or so. Team Giannis, Team LeBron. We talked about how they drafted. I think Team Giannis not only drafted for the future, but for specifically his future. I think Team Giannis purposely drafted the way he did, because if you look at all of the players that he has drafted in comparison to Team LeBron, Pascal Siakam, Kemba Walker, Trae Young, Joel Embiid, Bam Adebayo, Brandon Ingram, Donovan Mitchell, younger guys. Those are guys that are looking to potentially be out of their contract at some point. Some of them have gotten extensions, yes, but some of them are players that could be getting out of a contract soon.
Hold on.
Flip it. Look at Team LeBron. Anthony Davis, he's already there with the Lakers. James Harden's not leaving. Kawhi Leonard's probably not leaving. Luka Doncic is signed for as long as he can count. Chris Paul, he's not going to be good for too much longer. Damian Lillard, he's
What's
not.
your point here? Devin
The
Booker
point-
replaced Damian Lillard.
The point, he's still listed as an all-star, though. The point, Team
He ain't
Giannis
playing.
may be trying to work something in to bring some people into Milwaukee to build his kind
Oh
of big
my
three.
Oh my goodness.